Yo, what's good, everybody? Today I'm talking about Angelo Leo versus Tomoki Kameda. This was Leo's first defense, and he actually went to Japan to fight the challenger Kameda, which is dope. It's a good business move to fight elsewhere. Just because you're the champ doesn't mean you should always fight in your own backyard. Business-wise, you can be strategic with where you choose to fight. So in my opinion, it's good that he fought in Japan. That way he gets Inoue's attention, who could potentially be moving up to featherweight in 2026. Fighting in Japan also, opens up the Japanese market for him. So from this fight, he must have earned hundreds, if not thousands, of new Japanese fans. So that's also good for his brand. But getting into the fight, I thought that Leo handily won the first 4 rounds. He was the much more active fighter. I thought he did well to control the action. His legs were really, really good. He was boxing on the outside. He was using his jab to control range, score points, and set up shots. He was really good at starting and stopping the action, as in he would box on the outside, then he'd dash inside for a quick 3-piece combo, and he'd safely and responsibly exit away from danger. His lead hand was very busy in the first 4 rounds. He would jab, then he would turn it into a hook, then he would go back to a jab, then body hook, then uppercuts. Leo's lead hand was just phenomenal. Leo was also switched on early in the fight. You could literally see the concentration and focus in his eyes. He was super sharp, and he was fighting a very intelligent, tactical, and purposeful fight. It looked like everything was computed in the equation, if that makes any sense. It just looked to me that in the first 4 rounds, everything Leo did was already calculated and accounted for. Like, he already planned everything and expected what Kameda would do, and he was defensively sound with his approach. And I really like how Leo was finishing every exchange. He made it a point to retaliate right after Kameda threw his shots. Essentially, Leo was first and last in every exchange, and that's a smart thing to do. For the most part, doing that makes it so you win the exchanges in the eyes of the judges. However, rounds 5 all the way till round 10, those rounds were all really close rounds, man. In the first 4 rounds, Leo controlled the geography of the fight, as Teddy Atlas would say. It was fought in the mid-range. There, Leo was able to utilize his foot speed advantage and his superior and more active jab. He was able to blitz in and out, and because Kameda couldn't really find his timing nor be in range for his attacks, his offensive output really was just not enough. He couldn't match Leo, but he changed that in the 5th round. I'm not sure if I should credit Kameda for this or if Leo just kind of got away from the game plan, but it all started when Kameda caught Leo with a counter jab while Leo was lunging in. Soon after that, the fight quickly turned into an inside fight where they trade body shots, in which, to me, Kameda got the better of. He did land a sweet body shot that visibly affected Leo. He hunched over for a bit after getting hit from it. And in round 6, Leo's output declined a little bit. He was still fighting throughout the whole round compared to Kameda, who more so fought in bursts. But when Kameda did let his hands go, his shots just looked more effective. There's a sequence where he tightened up his guard and sort of just bum rushed Leo into the ropes and just went ham on the body. I'm not sure how many actually connected clean, but optically it must have looked real good to the judges. Leo does this thing where he hunches over when Kameda was attacking his body. I think he's doing that to cover more of his body, but it's a double-edged sword because while, yes, he may not be taking as much damage, visually it looks as though that Kameda's punches are buckling him. So that's just my 2 cents. That's just an observation that I made. And more of the same, really, for rounds 7 and 8. Really close rounds that could go either way. It's one of those scenarios where perhaps Leo was the busier fighter, but Kameda's shots looked more effective. It's just what the judges prefer, what you prefer. So honestly, to me, I gave rounds 5, 6, and 7 to Kameda, and round 8 was a swing round, in my opinion. I thought anybody could have taken that. Round 9 was yet another close round. One you really can't separate them from the other, but I ended up giving it to Leo because he landed one of the cleanest shots of the night. It was an overhand right, and it landed flush, and even got a reaction from the Japanese crowd. So In an even round like that, the fighter who lands the cleanest shot will typically win the round. And so with that, I gave it to Leo. Round 10 was another swing round in my opinion. Just so hard to give it to either of them, you know. But I would probably lean ever so slightly towards Kameda, just because the same as before, his shots just got more of a reaction from Leo compared to the other way around. And though Leo won the previous round, it just feels like Kameda at this point has the momentum, right? So going to the championship rounds, I had it either 6-4 Leo or 5-5 draw. So going into the championship rounds, we have a very close fight that could possibly be a draw, right? But they call it the championship rounds for a reason. These are the rounds that separate champions from other people. And in my opinion, Angelo Leo showed why he is the champ. Because in round 11, it looked like he finally found his legs again. You know, Leo fought like how he did in the first 4 rounds. He boxed on the outside, he jabbed, he dashed in to deliver a combo and out right after, before Kameda could answer. And he was the far busier fighter in this round. So easy Leo round, he earned it. Now round 12 was a lot more competitive. Kameda managed to get in range, but Leo was still more active, right? It seems to me that in round 12, Leo opted for more of the shoe shine approach, where he threw punches and bunches to score points. Whereas Kameda, you know, stayed true to himself and continued to be economical, but throw with explosive power. It was a close round, but I edged the round to Leo. So that means I either had Leo winning 115-113 or 116-112. So honestly, I'm happy to say that I actually thought the judges had it right. You know, I can't be mad at all with the scorecards. Shout out to Kameda. You know, he fought well. He stayed composed the whole fight. He is a powerful fighter, and his punch resistance is on another level. He took some good shots, but not once did he look too hurt, you know, and his face looks unscathed. You know, salute to him. He fought a good fight, like I said. I see people complaining about him being dirty, but truthfully, I didn't see him do anything way out of pocket in the fight. Just looked like rough boxing to me, you know. Now Leo fought a real good fight as well. Obviously he won, and my honest thoughts on him is this, and I really hope that it doesn't come off sounding bad, but to me he represents a very good but non-special fighter. He's the type that isn't amazing at anything, but he's really damn good at everything. He doesn't have any major gifts. There's nothing sensational about him, but through hard work, dedication, and discipline, he became the fighter he is now. You know, a complete, well-rounded, technically sound, educated fighter, and a 2-division world champion. He's a true champion, you know, and I think he will be for a long time. Even at 130, I think he can grab a belt there in the future. All right, so that's all I gotta say. What did you think of the fight? Who do you want to see Leo fight next? Me personally, I want to see him unify, especially against Stephen Fulton. That would be a rematch I would love to see. But if not Fulton, I want to see him against Espinoza for sure. Or honestly, even Bruce Carrington. Bruce Carrington is a dope fighter. He's really damn good. And he's been calling for a title shot for such a long time now. And I think he deserves it. But yeah, tell me what you think down in the comments below. I want to thank you so much for watching the video. Please leave a like and subscribe. And hope you have a lovely day.